The curse of the smart actor. I tried. Of the many things I have learned in casting, one of the most significant is that actors are smart. I mean, really smart. Now, this might sound like a strange thing to say or hear, but you know what? It's really true. Smart actors are more prevalent. Prevalent, good word, than ever before because of the training, the opportunities, and, of course, the instant access to information. This is a blessing, but you know what? It can also be a curse. What's the curse, you might be asking? Well, I'm here to share some insight about that very subject. We're going to have fun talking about the curse of the smart actor on today's podio, podcast video, of Casting Actors Cast. The podcast video for actors from a casting director. That's me, Jeffrey Dreisbach. Come on and join us. Well, hello and welcome to today's episode of Casting Actors Cast. I'm casting director Jeffrey Dreisbach. Welcome. So cool that you are here. We're going to be talking about the blessing and the curse of being an actor. But this is that moment of the podcast where I get to say thank you so much for joining us on Casting Actors Cast. Hey, listen, if you haven't gone to the website, please do so. Casting Actors Cast, all one word.com, is a very nice place, I think, for you to get more information about me, about what's going on in the industry, but also if you fill out the form that says dive into the talent pool, that's going to open up some freebies for you, absolutely free of charge. One of them is a book called Conversation Pieces Out of the Studio, the Voiceover Workshop for Professional Actors. It's a 100-page PDF book on being a voice actor. I wrote that a few years ago. I think you're going to find that really useful, and I know that hundreds and hundreds of you have downloaded the book, and I hope you're enjoying it. The second thing is that there's an area of that location when you fill out the form. By the way, I don't do anything with your information. It just asks your name and email address. On occasion, I might send out an email blast about classes I'm teaching or something like that, but I don't spam at all, I promise you. But there is also a place where you called, Jeff's Jots, and that's show notes for past and current episodes. So you might want to check that out as well. And then finally, there's a free video, Casting Director Secrets, What They Don't Want You to Know. And that's also a 20-minute video, absolutely free of charge. Many people have downloaded that video as well, and I've gotten some really nice feedback from folks. So that's all at the website, castingactorscast.com. Also, you can send me an email, castingactorscast@gmail.com. If you have a question that I can answer on the air, you can also self-submit your audition video to me just by sending me the link to that email address. That's castingactorscast@gmail.com. And I will, if it's chosen, will put it on the air. I'll give you an evaluation of your self-submitted video on the air. The only thing is that you have to make it, give me permission to be able to show this to others. But it's really a cool way of getting into the spirit of critiquing, finding out how your self-tapes compare to others in the industry. So you might want to consider a submission, answering your questions, self-submitting your videos, sending me a note. It's just all part of this really amazing community. And I'm getting really excited because every week I seem to get closer and closer to 50,000 downloads of this podcast. So it would mean so very much to me if you could spread the word, if you could send out a link to your friends, if you could subscribe, if you could leave me, if you like the podcast, for example, you could certainly leave me an iTunes review. That would be a really cool help. So if you could just take a moment and do that, I would be so appreciative, and that sort of motivates me to keep on doing these podcasts. And of course, there's this moment of me making the shout out to Actors Connection. Listen, if you haven't gone to Actors Connection, actorsconnection.com/New York, you're going to find out about all kinds of classes with industry professionals, teaching everything about on-camera acting technique to voiceover work to how to be your own publicist. I mean, there's all kinds of really cool classes out there. Also, I'm teaching there on occasion, so it would really be great to have you join actorsconnection.com. All right, let's talk about the subject at hand today, shall we? Let's get right into it. By the way, I try to make these podios, these podcast videos, as very much as evergreen as possible. I think you'll find this information really useful. So I don't try to just talk about what's happening today. I try to give you information that you're going to use well into the future. And so today's subject is all about the blessing and the curse of being a smart actor. So the blessing of being a smart actor, number one, it's the actor's approach to the role. I see smart actors all the time in my teaching, and I just love working with the smart actor because their approach to the work is exemplary. Ooh, good word. Because they know how to research the material. They know the correct procedure to putting together a really good audition. They also know a lot about the preparation of putting that material together. And preparation is really, really smart for actors. Getting yourself psyched up, whether it's an audition or getting yourself into the right headspace if you're doing a professional gig, you're showing up on the set, or it's the first day of rehearsal, whatever it is, you can trust that the smart actor is really prepared. Can you identify with that? Just by the fact that you're listening to this podcast video, that's telling me you're a smart actor because you're continuing to want to learn, you're continuing to want to grow and learn as much as you can. And for that, I'm grateful. So that is the right approach to being a smart actor. Number two, the second thing about being a smart actor is that the training actors have had is really comprehensive overall. That means that whether you've gone to college or you've gone to a conservatory or specialty training, is that the training today is better than it has ever been. There are more excellent teachers and coaches and advisors, and there's all kinds of exciting work being done in each of these institutions. And so training today from various institutions, no matter what it is, seems to be extremely solid, really good. And so that's another reason why the blessing of the smart actor is that you have the current training under your belt. Now, the third blessing to a smart actor is that the smart actor uses various resources and their own intellect to create really interesting character choices. So when they're playing a role, it's not only their approach to the role, but they also know that there are resources out there that give them insight and give them the intellect to create those interesting choices. So that's the smart actor. Maybe you identify with being a smart actor. Maybe you're one of those people who just works and works and works until you feel really confident about your work in the role. But you know what? There's the flip side. Right? Yeah, there is. There's that flip side, which is the curse of being a smart actor. Now, if you can identify with some of those traits of being a smart actor, that's great. But can you also identify with the curse of being a smart actor? Curse number one, lacking concrete decisions about what is best. In other words, not being able to make a decision about how to play the part because you have so many choices available to you. You know what? That leads to uninspired interpretations of the work. And the actor, therefore, doesn't make or take risks. And that leads to what I call sort of a middle-of-the-road interpretation. The other curse to being a smart actor, number two, what I call heightened awareness of what others might be thinking. Do you do that? See, if you're an actor that walks into an audition and says, you know what? I wonder what they're looking for. You know, if you do that, that's completely wasted energy, because you're deflecting from the internal work that says, I can't wait to show you how I'm going to play this part. Or if you're on the set, you've done all of that work. It's now a matter of jumping in with that creative energy so that you can simply do good work. But thinking of what others are thinking, complete waste of energy. That's the curse of being a smart actor. Number 3, I wonder if you can identify with this, but never being satisfied with the final outcome. Right? Gosh, I could have done something better. I wonder why I didn't make that choice that worked so well in my apartment when I was working on this. Could have done something better. Do you say that to yourself after an audition or after a booking, after a callback? The curse of the smart actor is never being satisfied with your final choice, your final decision. And you know what? I just have to say that I find that kind of sad. I do. I find that painful. And I'm here to tell you, you don't have to put yourself through that quagmire of mental mindset that is nothing but distracting from the real task, which is showing me how you're going to play the part, showing me the role, showing me the character. I've said this many times, but acting is behaving. So if you spend energy into deciding and making a decision about how that character behaves, then I think you're going to be in a better spot if you do that focused attention rather than the internal speculation about what choices are out there and could I have done it better? There's an old phrase that says you shouldn't should on yourself. I should have done this, I should have done that. Remove that from your vocabulary, and I think you're going to find that to be a really healthy decision that you are making. So now we've talked about the curse of the smart actor. Let's talk about the solution to being a smart actor. And I gave you a couple of solutions there, but let's go more into detail, shall we? I want to make sure I give you as much comprehensive information as I can. So here's the solution to being a smart actor. Number 1, it's critical that you stay focused on the thought, behavior, and not the result of the choices. Now, that's pretty close to what I said a couple of moments ago. But staying focused on the thought and behavior of your character and not the result is just an absolute refreshing way to approach the work. Number 2, the solution to being a smart actor, you need to simply turn down the critical voices, or what I call the third eye in your head. How do you do that? How do you turn down that little mind-numbingly loud critical voice that is always watching, always observing, and always commenting on your process? And the way to do that is in your head, you need to think about the other character that you're working with in the scene. Investing that energy that you would think about evaluating into trying to figure out how that other character ticks. You see, that shifts you from taking your own temperature and puts you in a place of trying to take the temperature of the other character in the scene. And that energy, you won't believe this, but it really reflects well on your acting. It helps you feel more spontaneous. Your reactions in a scene are completely truthful at that point. And that's why turning down the critical voices, that third eye in your head, and learning about the other character in the scene is, I think, extremely useful advice. Number 3, it's important, and I've said this before, but I'm just going to repeat it because I think this is really valuable for you is remember to find spontaneous moments. Those unexpected, something that happens that is unexpected is really exciting for a casting director to watch. It really makes the actor sort of perk up and come alive and be very, very present in the scene, whether you're on the set or whether you're auditioning or whether it's a callback or whether it's a chemistry read. Just remembering to find and look for spontaneous moments, that creates an entirely new purpose for your work. And then finally, tell yourself that it's only a moment of time, and then move on. Whatever the role is, whatever the assignment is, whatever the scene is, it's only a moment in time. And then it's time to move on. So reflecting on what you did is not that helpful to you, rather than thinking about how you're going to do better next time, how you're going to be, how you're going to behave, how you're going to act next time. So it's simply a matter of moving on. Don't sit in that place of contemplative angst. Oh, that's easy for you to say. Contemplative angst. Somebody write that down, because I think that's really cool. So whether it's for an audition, or whether it's preparing for a role, or getting to work on set or stage, listening to the critical voice in your head is not a sign of your smartness. It really isn't. It speaks to your insecurity. Trust your training and technique. Embrace spontaneity and connect to the moments that are interesting to you. As we conclude this episode today, being a smart actor is awesome, but it can also lead to unnecessary influence on your choices when you don't really need it. It's a matter of learning to ask the right questions as an actor and then to let go of the actor and invest into the behavior that's going to lead to amazing and creative moments. I hope that was helpful for you today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to leave me a review if you've had a good time. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you next time on the next episode of Casting Actors Cast.
Casting Actors Cast is made possible with your support just by listening. Please like, share, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.